Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to talk about ways to travel in today's episode. Some of these are commonly known and others not so much. I'm including normal zones and PvP content. You can see the description below for timestamps if you're curious about a specific way to travel. At the time of recording this, Mid-Year Mayhem is actually going on right now, and I've been thinking about doing this episode for at least a week or so. So hopefully I'll have this released before too long. So the first area we're going to go over is just normal zone traveling. So PvP will be the second half of the episode. There's basically 4 ways to travel in non-PvP zones and like normal zones. The most common way is to travel by wayshrines. You have to discover the wayshrine, and then you can travel between the wayshrines you have already discovered. Another way you can travel is by boats and carts. So you find a local port that has the little port symbol on it, and you see where they're going and if they're in the region that you're looking for. So if you have a quest that you need to go to a specific area that you haven't been to before, just look around that area on the map and see if you can find a port or a cart that will take you there, and then track down where that one is going. And that'll help you find if there's a cart or a boat near the location that you're at now, so that you can travel by that way. If I'm not butchering this too badly. It's easier than it sounds. It's just you need to get used to figuring out where one travels to another one, because there are certain ones that always travel between alliance zones and another one that travels only to like Somerset, to like DLC areas. So usually you can just find them pretty much near bodies of water, and then if there's no body of water around the zone, it's usually a cart that you can find in like the main city of that zone. So a good example of this is if you were part of the Daggerfall Covenant and you were in Wayrest and you need to travel to Rivenspire, you can just go and look at the port of Wayrest, and they have all of those anchor symbols. And one of those will say they travel to Rivenspire, which is where we would need to go in this scenario. If there was one that was not listed there, you can maybe travel somewhere that's close by and just have to ride your mount or run to get to where you need to go. Traveling from Wayrest to Rivenspire is actually a great example, because Rivenspire is not surrounded by any type of water. So when you show up there from taking a boat in Wayrest, you actually show up in a cart in the middle of their main city. So if you were in Rivenspire, you would go to that cart instead of a boat, because there are no boats, and you would take that cart to a specific area that you're looking at, and that could take you actually to a boat or another cart. I like to think that we're traveling by the boat, and they land at a port somewhere, and I have to get out and continue my travel via the cart, and I'm sleeping on the cart, and we wake up and suddenly we're in the middle of Rivenspire. The second way you can travel is player to player. So if you have a friend who's logged on or in your party, or a guild member even, you can go over to their name and click on it, and it'll give you options, and one of them will be to travel to the player. So you can do that, and that is free also. The third option is to travel to your home that you have purchased, or I think they give you one free in home. And that is free also. So that's another incentive to actually go and buy the houses in like all of the major cities and some of the zones, because it's a free way to travel to that one zone. And the fourth way is using gold to travel to a wayshrine. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you really want to get somewhere quick, you can spend gold to just travel to a wayshrine of your choice. That can get expensive though, because the first time it's not so bad, it's like under 100 gold. But then if you travel that way again within a certain amount of time, it doubles and then it triples. I'm not exactly sure what the math is on that, but it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. So only do that if you absolutely have to. All right, and now we're going to talk about PvP traveling. Well, there's technically no fast travel in PvP, except at specific areas of Cyrodiil. There's none in Imperial City or the sewers. So first we'll go over the Imperial City. There is no way to escape. But wait, you can just log out. So if you're caught in a bad pinch in the Imperial City and you just want to get out of there really quick, you can actually just log out of the game. And when you log back into the game, you'll be back in your home base of the Imperial City. So that's one way you can get by that little snafu. For the Imperial City, there's also the sewer grates. While you're running around up above, you can take the sewer grates into the sewers, but then you have to transverse the sewers to your home base, and it's easier to just go to the district that is closest to your base and go through the sewer grate there because it's a much shorter run. The Imperial sewers are huge, so it really is beneficial to go to the correct district up above before taking a sewer grate down. I'll include a list here also, but for the Aldemary Dominion, the Temple District and the Arbitorium is actually the closest if you're going by sewer grate back to your home base. For Ebonheart Pact, it's the Arena District or the Memorial District. And for the Daggerfall Covenant, it's the Elven Gardens and the Noble Districts are the closest to their home base. So it's really best to, you can run around the Imperial City sewers if you want, but they are humongous. So you'd be doing it for quite a while, and there are other alliances down there who will come after you if they're hunting down there while you're down there. And an extra tip for newbies to PvP, how to leave the Imperial City. There's no way to fast travel out of the Imperial City to get out of PvP. You actually have to be in your home base, and there's a exit door you have to go through that will pop you back out into non-PvP server. So you have to be back in your home base to actually leave the Imperial City. Yeah. All right, and then lastly, let's talk about Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil is, I don't know, I like Cyrodiil a bit better because it's more open. It's not so closed in as the Imperial City, but that means you have to travel quite a distance also to try to get from point A to point B. So there are also 4 different ways to travel in Cyrodiil. The first is by the transit shrines, which is like wayshrines, but you can't travel there from anywhere. You have to be at a transit shrine to travel to a transit shrine. And the one you're traveling to also has to be owned by your alliance to be able to use it. The second way is using a keep recall stone, and you can actually buy these from the siege merchants. So the siege merchants are actually scattered throughout Cyrodiil. Each of the alliances will have one at your gates. So like the eastern, western, northern, southern gates, whichever your alliance you're a part of. And then also you can find siege merchants in like the major cities of Cyrodiil. So like Velastris or Fort Gladmist, Castle Farangel, the major cities that we vie for control of over. Those are 20,000 AP, which is the PvP currency. But once you've been spending enough time in PvP, that's actually not too bad. It would be worthwhile to try to keep a keep recall stone on you at all times, because they can be very helpful to try to get back to your home base or to a certain port. But once again, if you're traveling somewhere, your alliance must own it to be able to travel to it, just like with the transit shrines. You can also get the keep recall stones with the rewards for the worthy coffers, and you get those coffers every 20,000 AP you earn by doing activities in Cyrodiil. The third way to travel in Cyrodiil is the Slaughterfish Way. What is it the kids are calling it nowadays? It's like Slaughterfish Slumber something. There's like a there's a few different phrases out there, because you just go over to a large body of water in Cyrodiil. This only counts for the water that surrounds the Imperial City, and in the river that goes from the Imperial City south between Aldemari Dominion and the Ebonheart Pact. There are a few lakes and smaller water beds throughout Cyrodiil that the slaughterfish are not at. But sometimes it is quicker just to run over to like the larger bodies of water to just, man, you just dip your toes in and the slaughterfish kill you so fast. They're like way quicker than if you were killed by slaughterfish in the normal zone. It's like they're on steroids or something. And for the fourth and final way to travel in Cyrodiil is logging out, actually. If you log out anywhere in Cyrodiil, when you log back in the next time, it should have pushed you out of PvP server, and you'll find yourself back in the normal zone wherever you were when you first logged in to PvP. So those are the ways that you can travel in ESO. Did I miss any? I think I've got all of them, but let me know down in the comments below if I missed anything, or if you guys have comments or suggestions on anything I went over today or anything I could possibly talk about in the future. So I hope you guys are having a good week and enjoying Mid-Year Mayhem if it's still going on. I'll be back soon with more tips and tricks. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll see you next time.